Is this thing on? Me. What's poppin', gang? It's your boy Pastor JB here, and I'm here once again with another episode of the pt.4 podcast relationship series. Yay! Now, the topic that we'll be discussing today is arguably one of the most important topics of the relationship series. And that is something that we all should have. This is something that we all need to start with. This is something that, especially being an adult, especially you seasoned. You know, they say you can't call nobody old nowadays. You got to be seasoned. No sazon. This is something that we all need to have. This is just one of the number one things in life you should have, period. And that's a personal relationship with yourself. Mic drop. I know. You can save the applause, screams, hallelujah. Save it. Just give me some ties and author and Cash App, TTOT podcast. Not just slang, but anyway. Once again, you should definitely have a personal relationship with yourself. You definitely need it. One of the first things you definitely want to do and want to have the awareness of is knowing yourself. That's step one with having a personal relationship with yourself. If you don't know yourself, who the hell else is going to know you? If you don't know yourself, who are you really? I know, I'm deep. I get it. Follow me. Knowing yourself is very important, and it's the first step of having a personal relationship with yourself, because, although a lot of y'all hoes do it out there, how can you truly have a relationship with somebody that you don't know, right? So, i.e., how can you have a personal relationship with yourself if you don't even know yourself, right? So, boom. A relationship with yourself is the most important relationship in life, period. Hard stop. A self-relationship is the foundation of everything else in life. If it has anything to do with you, it's going to always come back to yourself. You know what I mean? It's going to always be, this is me in the world. And I know and I understand that with the relationship that you have with people mold who you are, especially growing up and everything else like that, because once again, it's trial and error. It's like, if you don't know, this is my base, I know myself, I know my worth, I know what I do. And what you don't know, or if you haven't experienced what you like and what you don't like, how can you truly know that you like what you like and you don't like? So how can you mold yourself and or know yourself if you don't go out there and be in the world and have other relationships with other people? So yes, you definitely can have relationships with other people to know yourself. And that's just, you don't have to have personal, intimate, quote-unquote, relationships with other people to know yourself. That's just relationships in general in life. Your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, your teachers, neighbors, people of service, firefighters. We're not going to say cops, because fuck the police. The bad ones, at least. Fuck the bad ones. That's all I'm going to say. And we're going to leave that right there. But step one to knowing yourself is to be able to take accountability for all of your actions. All of your actions, including what you did, what you said, what you're going to do, what you said you wasn't going to do, what you said you was going to do, what you're doing now. Is your actions meeting your words? Is your words meeting your actions? Is your intentions pure? Or are they negative? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want that? It's like, no. You know what I mean? You have to be able to take accountability for everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you think about, and take it like a nigga. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of people don't like to take accountability because not a lot of people like to take responsibility of what they've done. I know a lot of people like to throw a rock, hide their hand, also like to throw rocks from glass houses, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast episode. So, knowing yourself definitely includes your wants and needs. We definitely discussed that in multiple other podcast episodes. Y'all definitely should go check those out. Like and share. Thank you. And know what you want. Know what you need. Obviously, know what's your necessity. Know what you can have, what you can't have. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Your personal. What's your personality? And that's another thing. That's not even on my notes, but we're gonna go there. A lot of people like personality. Now I'm gonna run. Thank you. But seriously though, know your personality. You have to know what you like, what you don't like. And then also, because I'm a strong believer in two people can go through the same thing and have two totally different experiences. So definitely know how you come off as well. I mean, because we can know ourselves and we can think we know ourselves and we can think we're doing this a certain way and are we doing something a certain way to us, and to another motherfucker it comes off completely different, whether it be negative, positive, or whatever. Now granted, you can miss me with the bullshit because I am one of the people that be like, well, that's your fucking problem, because that's not what I meant. But it depends on who the person is you're dealing with and what the compromising level of what it is. What are some of your goals? Know what you have. I think it's very important to know your long-term goals, your short-term goals, and your in the middles. And maybe they're just frivolous, maybe they're just little things that you know that mean something to you but wouldn't mean something to anybody else. But it's all about personal. It's all about personal. So know what you want. I mean, I'll give y'all an example. One of my long-term goals is to definitely retire by 40, if not before that. I want to own a few businesses, a few restaurants / museums. Take my idea, I'm patenting it, I am trademarking an LLC in this shit. Mind your fucking business. But that's one of my long-term goals. One of my short-term goals is to, I'm not going to tell y'all where I want to move until I actually move there. And then I'll let you know the new location. But yeah, definitely know yourself, know your goals, know your worth. That's another thing. Know your worth. It's like, know how much you contribute, know what you bring to the table if you are the table, and what you can take away from the table. You know what I mean? Know who deserves to be in your presence and who doesn't. Know who deserves your energy and who doesn't. Know what you like to be around and what you don't. You know what makes you tick. Know what makes you boom. What relaxes you. Do you have an attitude? And that's another thing too. Let's talk about that real quick. A lot of people, especially people that have attitudes, don't like to admit they have attitudes. And when I say attitudes, I'm talking about negative attitudes. Know why you have an attitude. First of all, identify that you have an attitude. Know why you have an attitude, and then figure out why are you misplacing your anger somewhere else. Now, it's not for everybody, but that's definitely for some people that need to hear it. God told me to tell you. Shanana. Shish kebab. So,
in the name of Jesus, you be made whole by the power of God.
Once again, know your beliefs. Like, and I'm not just talking about necessarily a higher power. I'm just talking about, like, what do you believe in? Like, do you, and might be a little harsh, but go with me. Like, do you believe in abortion? Do you not? Do you believe in the labor laws that they have in the state that you're in? What are your moral code and moral fiber? You know what I mean? What do you believe in? What don't you believe in? What do you feel strong about? What don't you feel strong about? And I don't want this to necessarily be a list of how you should know yourself and what you should know about yourself. I mean, although it kind of is, but we're not going to go there anyway, but whatever. So knowing yourself and companies as well, after part 1, part 2 would be, what are your personal boundaries? Shout out to the previous episode in this relationship series with myself and Chantel. Listen to that before you listen to this. Well, probably already listening to this, but go back if you haven't listened to that and then listen to this. That's all I'm saying. You have to have personal boundaries. Starting with yourself, you have to know what your priorities are, right? You have to know, going back to what I just said, what you like and what you don't like, what makes you feel comfortable, what doesn't make you feel comfortable, what are you okay with, what are you not okay with. And that's starting with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Okay, I don't like that I do this to myself. I don't like that I say this about myself. And then implement that in other relationships that you have in life. You know what I mean? You can have personal boundaries, knowing yourself, and then have your personal boundaries for everyone else. Protect your peace at all times, kings and queens, peasants. Bouncing off of priorities, though, that's another thing. Self-care. Self-care is definitely a part of having a personal relationship. Think about it as you're having a relationship with somebody else. It's other than, Well, no, think about it like you're having a relationship. Think about it as you being in a relationship with somebody else, how you would treat that other person if you're treating them well. You have to do the same thing with yourself because it's a necessity. It's needed. Also, you know what I mean? Like, you have to have self-care. I mean, everybody knows what self-care is, and everybody has different forms of self-care. So I can't necessarily explain to y'all how y'all should do with y'all self. I can only give you a few examples. A few examples is, keeping your hygiene up. I mean, if you like to get your nails and feet done, get your nails and feet done. If you like to go to a spa, get a massage, you do that. If you like to just read a book and be quiet. Or if you like to be like me when I get off work, I need dead silence. I need dead silence. I don't want to talk to nobody for a good 2 hours. I need to be in the black and regroup. But that's just me. But that, that kind of self-care. Mental care. Mental health care. That is something that's very important, especially people that can't help that they were born with mental deficiencies. And to get serious for a couple of seconds, once again, like I always say, if you are somebody that feels as if you have some mental deficiencies and you feel like you're going through a mental crisis or anything else like that, please call somebody that you feel that you can talk to. If you can't do that, or if you don't have anybody to talk to, please go to a professional, go to a hospital, but have somebody there that is a guardian and or somebody that has the rights over you to protect you. I'm going to put this out there. Don't go, if you're in Delaware, don't go to Meadowwood. Don't go to Rockford. And I forgot the other place. But don't go there. They mistreat people. And they do a whole bunch of shit that shouldn't be done. And I'm pretty sure it's against their protocol, but then who checks the checkers, right? Anyway. Get back to what we was talking about. Yes, great. So, with personal boundaries, priorities, self-care, mental care, and all that other stuff. After that, and I think I probably already said your morals and your values. So, definitely want to have a moral compass. You definitely want to have some morals and values about yourself because, I mean, although I feel like that, I guess that's the new wave with the new generation that don't nobody give a fuck about anything. We gonna do what the fuck we want. I mean, do what the fuck you want. Cool, but when does it end? Or where does it start to end? You know what I mean? Like and when I say that, I mean self-respect. And that's another thing that you have to have is self-respect. And I mean, a lot of people have different definitions of respect, but I mean, when you hear respect, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I'm pretty sure everybody has the same, thing, but whatever. You have to love yourself. A lot of people, especially younger people, and I mean a whole bunch of old people because they haven't been taught. I mean, that's just generational curses and everything else like that, but that's a whole nother conversation. You definitely have to love yourself. And a lot of young people is what I was about to say was a lot of young people don't know how to love themselves because it's not displayed to them. And that goes into generational curses, what grows into making you old and not learning how to do so. At the very end of the day, honestly, I would really say loving yourself is step one to knowing yourself. Well, no. I would say loving yourself is step one to having a personal relationship with yourself. You have to love yourself. And everybody's definition of love is different. As long as it's not toxic, as long as it doesn't hurt you or anybody else, I mean, love is love. So you have to, define that for yourself. I think about it. It's like, how can someone else love you and respect you and know how to treat you if you don't love, respect, and know how to treat yourself? Personal expectations is the next one. Definitely have to have personal expectations. I feel like you have to expect certain things from yourself. Me being me, I have a whole bunch of expectations, and sometimes I need to lower them shits, not just for myself, but for other people. But I'm saying, just in general, you have to have expectations. It's like, if you can't expect anything from yourself, how can you want anybody to be able to lean on you and or treat you a certain way if they don't see what you don't see. If that makes sense, because I almost just confused myself, but I know what I'm talking about. Stay with me. And it's like, if you don't have expectations for yourself, you don't have standards for yourself. And I mean, if you don't have standards for yourself, you just one of these dirty dick niggas out here and dirty pussy bitches. That just, just be loosey-goosey and everywhere. And I mean, that's cool and all. Strap up. How does song go? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things. Anyway, don't mind me. I've been drinking. So yes, no. But definitely want to have personal expectations and standards, because if you don't have expectations and standards for yourself, how can you hold anybody else to an expectation and or a high standard? Because what you won't do for yourself, you try to do for somebody else, that shit ain't gonna never work, because they're gonna see that you don't even do it for yourself. So why should I give you the respect to respect what you expect from me? Fuck out my face with the bullshit. And once again, that's why I always say everything starts with you. And I say that to say a lot of people feel like they missed out on opportunities and they can't get this done, they can't get that done, or why everything in my life is in shambles. And just to go a little deep real quick, with yourself, you can't expect you from other people, because you are you. B, you can. And I mean, this is just, and most of the times, it's just the law of earth. I mean, you can't, karma, you know what I mean? But whatever resonates and vibrates in your energy, without you knowing and or subconsciously, is going to always radiate out of your body. You know what I mean? So if you don't respect yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're going to run into people that don't respect you. Your energy is like a magnet, put it like that. Your energy is like a magnet, and it's going to attract everything that's fucked up and good and whatever back into your life through other people and other experiences. It's like, once again, if you don't respect yourself, you're going to run into people that don't respect you. If you don't like to speak up, you're going to run into people that's going to run over you. If you hold yourself to a higher standard, you know your moral fiber, you know that you the shit, like myself. Thank you. Godly. No, but you're most likely radiating and vibrating on a frequency that people that's vibrating and radiating that's on the same frequency is going to attract. They say you attract your fears, and all the other stuff, but $1 million, I'm scared. No, but I mean, it's all about energy, it's all about radiating, and it's all about positive vibrations and everything else like that. So whatever that energy is, that respect level, that you know yourself, and if you don't know yourself, everything's going to boomerang back to your life. And that's why they say everything in your life starts with yourself. Have yourself right so you can have everything around you right, for the most part, because sometimes shit be trying you, but that's another conversation for another day. Now, I want to go into another part of the personal relationship with yourself that I think is very important, just in life and in general. I feel like you should always have a relationship with God. Now, I know and I'm aware that everybody doesn't believe in God. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. God has been good to me. But I mean, I'm definitely one of the people that I respect every religion and everything else like that. So I'm gonna broaden it for you. You have to have a relationship with your God, your higher power, whatever you believe in. Whatever you believe in, whatever is celestial beings that's going to guide you through life. You know what I mean? You have to have a personal relationship with them. For me, I'm a Christian. My grandmother's a pastor. My great grandmother was a pastor. I'm a GPK, Grand Preacher's Kid or some shit like that. But I mean, shit. I shouldn't. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, however, I am in touch with my ancestors and spirituality and everything else like that. And I think a lot of people, and this is definitely going to be an episode coming up in the podcast probably later in the season, but I think a lot of people get it messed up and thinking that God and or Christianity and or Catholicism or whatever and spirituality can't exist in two, at the same time, when that's like far from the truth. And that'd be a whole different conversation. But you definitely have to have a personal relationship with God. I feel like God, the ancestors, the Orishas, all of that shit, they lead you through life. They're basically guides. I mean, if you can look, first of all, you should look to God first anyway. But if that's not your first response, that needs to be your first response. Nah, but seriously though, it's like you have to look to God for everything. God should be your foundation next to, knowing yourself. God, just He leads you everywhere. Whether you like it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, everything happens for a reason through Him. And our Orishas, and our ancestors, and all of that good shit. So, you have to have that. I will go into that a little bit further and explaining what that means and everything else like that in a whole nother podcast episode. Ask yourself, if you don't believe in God, and I'm not, once again, I'm the person that I'm unbiased. I respect everybody's religion. I do feel like, and I'm gonna leave this here, I feel like we all, I don't give a fuck what none of y'all hoes say, we all worship the same God. He just has different names for different cultures and religions. And I'm going to leave it there. But ask yourself, what do you believe in if you don't believe in God? Your God, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh Shore, Jehovah Jireh, Peter, and all them niggas. In short, I'm not even really going to say in short and long. I'm not even really going to say in long. I'm going to say, to end it all, I would definitely say we want to end with acceptance of yourself. Whatever that means to you once you hear accept yourself for who you are is what the fuck it means, okay? I want to end it with acceptance. That's like the last thing you need to gather the whole thing of personally knowing yourself and having a personal relationship with yourself. Because if you don't accept you, you're going to continuously run from yourself. And if you continuously run from yourself, you're never going to get to know yourself. And if you don't get to know yourself, you're going to always end up in a sticky and shitty situation because you don't know what the fuck you want. You don't know what you like. You don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, how can you then have some peace, tranquility, and serendipity in life? I know, I'm deep. I get it. But I mean, in first part of accepting who you are, you have to be honest with yourself. Right? Being honest with yourself. We all know what being honest means. So it's like, when a lot of people like to pride themselves on being honest with other people, but you don't want to be honest with yourself. Like, you can't lie to yourself about anything, you know what I mean? And I also want to say, you don't, and this is definitely on my spirit for somebody out there. I don't know who, because it just landed here, but don't always beat yourself up, right? Don't always beat yourself up for what you lack, what you don't like about yourself. Don't look at anybody else and think, oh my God, I need to be like them, or oh my God, I wish I had this and that. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. First of all, don't compare yourself to nobody. That's another point that should have been all the way up the totem pole. Don't compare yourself to nobody else, because once again, you can't compete where you can't compare. And I'm saying that to use that as a life skill. Don't look at yourself, or don't look at anybody else's competition. Compete with yourself. Compete with your higher self. Compete with your betterment of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if you're feeling like you right here, and this is, y'all can't see me yet, but it's at the bottom or in the middle, and just look at yourself at where you can be at. And look at yourself at where you want to be at if you're not already there. And compete with that version of yourself. Don't compete with somebody else. Because who the fuck are other people? But definitely, don't beat yourself up for what you don't have and what you don't like at the moment. I mean, what you like at the moment. If you don't like something about yourself, if you lack something specifically, and if you feeling inferior, fix what you don't like. But it has to start from the inside. It has to start with the mind. And you can't just be like, oh shit, I don't like that over there about myself. I don't like that I'm too funny. I know, you don't have to tell me comedian style. Get it? No. But seriously though, if you don't, just like work at it, fix it, who you want to be. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're never going to be who you want to be if you don't start with yourself. I know I said I was going to end it with acceptance, but we're really going to end it with manifestation and affirmations. That's another thing. If you want to get somewhere that you're not at the moment, manifest it and affirm it. Manifesting, what does that mean? They say you have to live it before you live it. If you, let's just say you want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire, Jay-Z status, but I'm giving you an example. If you want to be a millionaire and you just like $100 or something like that, you want to live, and I ain't saying live above your means. Please don't take my words out of context, because you will go broke and bankrupt, and then you'll be homeless. Nobody want to see you broke, homeless, and a bum. That's not what we're manifesting for. But I'm saying, live it. You got to start with your mind. So your manifestation starts with your mind. You have to think in a millionaire's mind. You have to think, what would a millionaire do in this situation? If I want to be like this, how am I going to carry myself? Let me start carrying myself like a millionaire before I get my $1 million, so I can already be there without being there. So when I get there, I know how to act when I am there. But you manifest, you believe, you pray, you go to God, and you work. You work hard. Faith without work is dead, and y'all need to know that. You can't just be like, oh my gosh, I want to be McDonald's, but you want like a Dietz and Watson's mindset. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, I want to be Bill Gates, but it's like you sitting over here with a Jamal from Burger King's mindset. You know what they say, a fool's always going to be a fool. If you give a fool money, it's going to be a fool with money. If you let a fool be broke, it's still going to be a fool being broke. You have to definitely start with your mind and manifest and affirm. So, that's what I'm going to leave you guys with this episode of the podcast. This is the TTOT podcast relationship series, episode 4. I got them right this time. I know. I am your boy, Pastor JB. I am logging off for today. I'm going to go finish this drink because this shit slapped. My version of JB Juices will be coming out sometime next... I'm a manifest this. It's going to be sometime next summer in the stores near you. If it's not in stores, it's going to be on the website for the TTOT podcast. Speaking of the website for the TTOT podcast, it's going to be coming soon as well. Merch will be coming as well. And as you guys know, follow us on all platforms. Our names will be in the description box. That's That or Not Podcast on Facebook. TTOT Podcast 9 on Twitter. That's That or Not Podcast PC on Instagram. Our TikTok is coming soon. We're going to make it happen. YouTube is coming soon. The visuals for the podcast will be coming soon as well. We do have a Cash App. Our Cash App is TTOT Pod 9. That is TTOTPOD 9. If you're feeling generous, if you want to help us out with our production, and you want to better our quality and experience, donate if you would like. I'm not asking, nor am I begging. Too cute for that shit. Yes. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, all of that good shit on all of the major streaming platforms. And once again, I'm your boy, Pastor JB, and I'm signing out. Hold up. But wait, before you go, be sure to like, drop a comment, follow, smash that subscribe button, and follow us on all platforms at That's That on That Podcast, #TTOT.